the specific questions on the Doha Bank. Doha Bank as an institution, as I mentioned, we are operating in, we are the first Qatari bank to be here, fourth Gulf bank to be here. And we are an efficient operation. We got a license last year. We inaugurated our branch in Mumbai. On April 29, the Finance Minister of Qatar, Central Bank Governor of Qatar, they were here. And definitely we see is a growing opportunity. It is not going to be confined to 3 branches. We had organic branch expansion through our licensed format as a Qatari bank, and we got a first license. Then we acquired 2 of the HSBC Oman branches. That is one in Mumbai, another one in Cochin, which we are integrating with the existing network. People, process, and technology is getting integrated. But we are going to scale up. It's not confined to just 3 branches. We have long-term opportunity to convert as a subsidiary and scale it up in different pockets of India, growing market, growing spaces, place like Hyderabad. We want to scale up, increase our footprint in the medium and long term. Of course, we have to fulfill our obligations to the regulators in both in Qatar as well as here. Once we do that, and with the growing commitment, we will be scaling up our activities. The number of branches is, it's very premature for me to say at this point of time. We have a huge opportunity in India. The bilateral trade is, as I mentioned, is growing in the right direction. There are only, we are the first Qatari bank. We have still a long way to go. We have growing opportunities in terms of market momentum, both in the Gulf as well as here. Qatar is going to grow between 4.7 to 5%, and it's still running in current account surplus. And with the oil price deflecting less than $50, still we are doing well. And India itself is growing. India needs more banks. India grossly underbanked, undercapitalized. So we want to facilitate the remittances. We want to facilitate the investments. We want to facilitate the trade, and we are going to grow.
Isn't it a subsidiary as of now?
No, it is only a 3-fold branch as on date. The plans are there for becoming a subsidiary at a later date.
By when would that be, sir?
It depends on the regulators and both sides. We just commenced our operation in April, and subsequently we acquired 2 branches.
Yeah.
So we want to scale it up.
Are you looking at any mergers and acquisitions?
No, step by step. We open our branch, then we acquire 2 of the HSBC Oman branch that we need to integrate, then get our house in order, then we go for the next step. Next step should be organic or acquisition. It could be anything. At this point, it's very premature for me to say. First, get our house in order. It takes minimum time for us to integrate the 2 branches which we are working on. Once we get all the 3 fully functional, next step is to scale it up.
Thanks.
Yes, please.
Sir, what is our outlook for oil price going forward? And will it affect this $50 per barrel rate will affect Gulf economies? And how do you see the future for those economies?
Good question. Will it affect the Gulf economy? The answer is yes. See, we used to have nearing 2 trillion as our GDP. 1.9 trillion was our GDP when the oil was costing over $100. Now it is 1.33 trillion. And it's purely a function of your oil or gas or petrochemicals. 45% of the world oil, 20-25% of the world gas comes from the Gulf states. So obviously it has got direct impact in terms of macroeconomic factors. What does it mean in terms of financial stability? Still, Gulf states are sizable in terms of financial stability. They're still going to run. Some countries like Qatar is going to run in current account surplus and fiscal surplus. Some countries who have got expansionary monetary fiscal policy will have a deficit in current account as well as fiscal. So overall, will it affect? The answer is yes. What is likely to happen in terms of oil price? Will it stay at less than 50 all along? The answer is no, a firm no. Take it from me. The reason is, what has changed in the last 1.5 years? Is there a demand reduced by 50%? No. Is the supply increased by 50%? No. Why the oil price should come down by 50%? It's not only demand and supply. There are no oil futures. Currency played a big role. You asked a very good question. The oil is denominated as petrodollars, right? What was the basket of dollar index in 1.5 years before, 18 months before? 75 basis points. Today, what is the index? 99.6. Those who have seen today's dollar index, 99.6. It is over 35% increase. When dollar is weak, what do you do? You have to hedge it, right? When dollar is weak, because if you engage in forward deals, you want to import, you go and hedge your risk by buying commodity futures. The oil price goes up. When dollar is strong, what happens? People started unwinding the commodity futures. Nobody wants to catch the falling knife. So there's no futures taking place. That is the reflection why the oil price has come down. Now, is dollar is going to be strong at this level? They can't inflate. It is not good for their trade either, right? When the currency is so strong, exports will not take place. You know it. You have to understand the dynamics of trade is getting reorganized. Now, add to that, in the last 1.5 years, nearly 2 years, the oil companies, whether Chevron or ExxonMobil or Total or BP or Shell, name it, they haven't put $1 trillion capital expenditure in the oil and gas modernization. There are refineries which are running short. This is going to have a serious impact in terms of supply chain support. You need refineries. You need to modernize time and again. These are all put to rest. We also had a supply of shale gas, hydraulic fracturing from America. And that is also getting a scientific assessment, not less than 60. They need to have a break-even. So to answer your question, why the oil price is down, I explained to you. To answer what is likely to happen to the oil price, take it from me, from 6 months to 12 months, in the medium term, your oil price will reach between 60 to 65. 60 is US crude, 65 is Brent. Medium to long term, between 1 year to 18 months, you will have oil price 70 to 75. It will not touch the $100. You also have, meanwhile, Iran is likely to come to terms. If political alignment comes in, supply of Iran will be sizable. With the geopolitical flash which you are seeing now in the Gulf states, with Syria, with the geopolitical, sanctions in Russia, you have seen various supply chain disruption and supply chain increments. Those are factors you have to constantly realign. So my prediction will be 60 to 65 medium term, 70 to 75 long term. That's the way it is going to be.